What happens if AI succeeds so perfectly and so fast that it breaks the global economy instead of saving it? We're all surrounded by this technology, and it's getting smarter every single day. But what if that intelligence becomes, well, just too abundant, too cheap, and way too disruptive? So today, we're going to explore a speculative scenario, a thought experiment that honestly feels like it's been ripped right from tomorrow's headlines. And this is the central, really unsettling question at the heart of it all. I want you to think of this not as a prediction, but more like a pre-mortem. It's an exercise where we look back from a hypothetical, broken future to try and figure out how everything could have gone so wrong. This whole idea is based on a thought experiment from Citrine Research that went viral back in 2026, and it imagines a future just 2 years from then. It's kind of like a ghost story for the digital age. And this is what they called it, the global intelligence crisis. The core idea is actually pretty simple, but it's also terrifying. Intelligence, the one thing we thought was uniquely human, it becomes a commodity, just something else to be bought and sold. It's produced by AI agents for almost nothing, flooding the market, and that makes the high-level thinking skills of lawyers, accountants, and programmers suddenly dramatically less valuable. This isn't about robots on an assembly line anymore. This is about algorithms in the boardroom. So, why does this dark scenario feel so plausible? I mean, where's the line between speculation and reality? To understand that, we have to look at what's happening in the real world, right now. The foundation for this crisis, it isn't science fiction. It's being built with data we can see today. Think of these as the early tremors before the earthquake. Okay, look at this number. It's staggering. According to a 2025 study from MIT, tasks that make up 11.7% of all U.S. wages could already be automated by AI. Let that sink in. We're talking about over $1.2 trillion in economic activity. This isn't some far-off future potential. This is a measure of the value that's exposed to automation right now, and it's hitting the very high-skill, white-collar jobs we always thought were safe. And just look at the speed of this change. This data here, it brings together forecasts from thousands of experts, and it shows there's a 50% chance that AI will outperform humans in these really complex tasks incredibly soon. Writing a high school essay by 2026, performing surgery by 2028. The point is, these milestones that we all thought were decades away are now sitting right on our immediate horizon. And it's not just academics saying this stuff. Industry leaders, the people who are actually building these systems, they're speeding up the timeline. Dario Amodei, he's the CEO of Anthropic, one of the top AI labs in the world. He's talking about Nobel-level intelligence showing up as early as 2026. And look, when the builders themselves start sounding the alarm, it's probably time to pay very close attention to what they're building. Okay, so you've got all this potential. But how does that potential turn into a full-blown catastrophe? Well, this scenario, it all hinges on a devastating feedback loop, a downward spiral where every single logical business decision just makes the overall situation catastrophically worse. Here's how that spiral gets going. First, capable AI agents become cheap and everywhere. So naturally, companies start laying off knowledge workers to cut costs. Makes sense, right? But those laid off workers, they're also consumers. As millions lose their jobs, consumer spending, which is the bedrock of the entire economy, it just collapses. And here's the truly tragic twist. Companies, facing falling revenues, they double down. They reinvest their savings into even more AI to cut costs further, which leads to, you guessed it, more layoffs. The spiral just feeds on itself, getting faster and faster. So what does this world even look like? What's the fallout from this spiral? This is where the whole scenario gets really unsettling. It paints a picture of a total paradox, an economy that's fantastically productive on paper, but where actual human beings are completely cut out of the loop. This is the concept of ghost GDP. On the left, you've got the official story. National productivity is soaring, AI agents are optimizing everything, the economy's vital signs look fantastic. But on the right, well, that's the human reality. Mass unemployment, consumer demand is in a freefall, and people are just sidelined. The wealth is being generated for sure, but it's all happening inside a closed system of machines. It's not circulating in the real economy where people actually live. In the early stages of this scenario, the market is euphoric, absolutely blind to what's coming. Investors, they see these incredible productivity gains, and they push the S&P 500 up to a peak of 8,000 in 2026. Every company is an AI company. Efficiency is at an all-time high. It looks like a golden age. But then,
reality hits when millions of high-earning consumers just stop buying cars and houses and software subscriptions. That ghost GDP can't hide the truth forever. The market finally realizes that productivity without consumers is totally meaningless. And the crash? It's swift and it is brutal. A 38% drop from its peak.
And the damage isn't just contained to the stock market. Oh no, the crisis cascades through all of society. Private credit markets, the ones that funded the whole tech boom, they unravel as software companies go bankrupt. Government tax revenues just evaporate. That puts immense strain on social safety nets right when people need them the most. And then you see it on the streets. Former lawyers and financial analysts driving for Uber, and social unrest starts to bubble up, with movements like Occupy Silicon Valley demanding answers.
So let's just step back. Why does this thought experiment feel so resonant, so real? It's not just about the technology, it's about the very nature of the disruption. And this is where imagination, based on what we're seeing today, meets a very possible reality. This is the key. You have to understand this part. Previous revolutions, they changed what we do. The Industrial Revolution got rid of manual labor but created cognitive jobs. This revolution is different. For the first time, technology is competing directly for the highest skilled jobs, the very careers that society has always defined as the pinnacle of success. There's no higher rung on the ladder to climb to. And so, that leaves us with a question. This scenario, it's a warning, not a prophecy. It's just one possible dark path among many potential futures. The story of the next decade, it hasn't been written yet. But it forces us to ask, as we build this world of seemingly infinite intelligence, are we also building the safeguards to make sure that abundance serves humanity instead of starving it? Are we heading toward this spiral, or will we find a way to adapt in time?